baseball night in America from the Windy City, where the rains were pouring through during the afternoon, but it has cleared up nicely as we get set for Game 2. A three-game weekend series between these two venerable franchises that have the same record coming in. The top two wild card teams in their respective leagues. It's the New York Yankees and the Chicago Cubs. From Chicago, Illinois, we welcome you inside the broadcast booth. Adam Amin, my World Series champion partners, Adam Wainwright, AJ Pierzynski, Ken Rosenthal will join us in a moment as well. So these two teams are in good shape. Top wild card teams. They've gotten here in very different routes. For the Cubs, AJ, it has been their offense that has helped carry them, in particular the last 2 months, and nobody's been a better candidate to talk about than Pete Crow Armstrong.
PCA was signed to an extension before this season started, and he has done nothing but deliver since June 1st. This is the player they expected. This is the player that Craig Counsell believed in. And if not for Shohei Ohtani, he'd be the runaway MVP in the National League this year. The numbers since June 1st are ridiculous. In the top three in every major offensive category, even average 333 is third. His defense is off the charts. You can't put a number on his defense and what he means to this team, the energy, the excitement. I love watching Pete Crow Armstrong play, and tonight we get the opportunity.
Cubs can score with the best of them. They got shut out yesterday by their mirror image. The Yankees have struggled offensively, but their pitching has been dynamite, including Friday. And that is a big key for this Yankees team to stay afloat.
Well, it is. They've got a few huge bats out of their lineup, so they've needed their stable of horses to step up. And every single day, it seems like the starting pitching, the bullpen, they're doing their job to keep them in the game. Right now, you can see right now their ranks in strikeouts, ERA, 11 shutouts, second in all of baseball. And then the last 9 games, 7 of them have been 1 or fewer runs. We're going to see more of that today with Max Fried. This guy's second in the Cy Young voting last year. He's back from an injury, had a little bone bruise in his elbow, but he's back. He looks like himself again, and he is the total package, keeps the ball on the ground and misses the barrels.
And as often is the case when there's a lot of rain in Chicago and it dies away, that means the wind is usually blowing in off the lake. So that could be very pitcher-friendly for Fried and the Yankees this evening, as the Yankees, who took the opener 2-0 yesterday, will get set to take on the Chicago Cubs in Game 2 of this series. It's coming up next on Fox.
School is back.
Two historic franchises, two great histories. Twice have met in the World Series back in the 1930s. Some of the most legendary names in all of baseball, some of the greatest broadcasters that have left us. And that famous ivy planted in 1937 by Bill Veeck, lining that outfield wall in the middle of this summer, where it's been a cool and cloudy afternoon after a lot of rain showers, but we're ready to start on time tonight from Wrigley Field as we get set for the Yankees and the Cubs, top wild card teams in their respective leagues. Aaron Boone first made a trip to Wrigley Field in 1981 as a young man. We'll tell you that story if we get some time tonight. But this is a struggling Yankee lineup ever since Aaron Judge went down at the start of June, and they are filling some holes. No Ben Rice in the lineup tonight. He needs a day off. He's been playing nonstop since before the All-Star break. So Max Schumann will lead things off, and off we go as David Peterson, the left-hander, who got dealt from the New York Mets after some struggles over the last calendar year. His last 3 starts have been much, much sharper, more like his old ground ball inducing self. And it's a ball and a strike on the left fielder for the Yankees, Max Schumann, the former Athletic. Utility players filled in a bunch of spots, and a lot of Yankees have had to do that over the course of this season with all of the bats missing. And so Peterson will go up against a kind of piecemealed lineup tonight for New York.
Yeah, and I find what's going to be very important for him today is keeping the ball on the ground. He's got a good sinker. He can work away from the right-handers and into lefties. He's got a good pull cut four seam. He can work off of that. But watch his changeup. I think it's going to be a key today off of those 2 good fastballs. He's got to keep the ball down on these guys, though.
For his career, he's got a 50% ground ball rate in 4 starts with the Cubs. The last few starts in particular, that has gone up, but it's not where it usually is. He had a bad start at Wrigley against the Cardinals at the start of July. He's been much better since, and has been inducing a lot more of those ground balls, even behind in the count.
That's been right there. That arm side miss, that's kind of what he's struggled with this year. He's got a lot of walks for the season for how many innings he's pitched. He's got to get that back on the plate.
Just off the plate, the count runs full on Max Schumann. So the former New York Met faces the former Athletic here. And the payoff. Called strike 3. So Schumann down on strikes, 1 away for Paul Goldschmidt. We have a late challenge on it. It is going to be a strike anyway. ABS powered by T-Mobile, and the strikeout counts.
I love that. The crowd gets to cheer twice. They cheer for the strikeout, and then they get to cheer again for this pretty much perfect pitch from Peterson to Schumann to strike him out. But yeah, and the Yankees are out of challenge. The first hitter of the game.
First batter of the game. That's a little too close to go for, I think.
This is not a high leverage situation, and I'm still a little bit shocked as we hit the month of August that teams and players are still not having a good time understanding that. Why you would use that in the first inning of a game unless you are 100% sure. I don't know why you do that.
Well, in his defense, it did just nick, like one seam touched the strike zone.
Not worth it at the first inning though, right? Based off of just what we've seen sample size wise.
Hey, when you're struggling to score runs, you'll try anything.
Very fair point, my friend. And on a 3-2, I guess it's a little bit more justified. Paul Goldschmidt with bases empty. Former Cub killer, still a Cub killer. 32 career home runs against the Cubs, a long-time Diamondback and Cardinal. He's actually been one of the saviors of this Yankee offense this year. The former NL MVP fouls one away. Back to the pitch that was challenged by Schumann. A close one, understandable, but on the first batter of the game certainly doesn't seem worth it now.
When you're thinking, you know, he throws a good sinker, so when you see a ball low, you have a tendency to take that because you think it's going to finish lower, but he threw the good four seam right there, sticking it inside, and it was able to keep its plane.
Yeah, I understand it. It's just I've had so many conversations, you guys too, with managers that are saying we got to save him for high leverage spots. Goldschmidt punches one towards short center, and the second baseman, an excellent defender, Nico Horner, snares it for out number 2. Ahmed Rosario had one of the 2 big hits yesterday. 2 solo home runs was enough. Will Warren shut the Cubs offense down with a great performance. The bullpen made it hold up. Rosario hit a 450-foot bomb to center field. One of the 2 solo home runs that were hit. The other one from Spencer Jones. There's a strike. 1-1 on Rosario, the veteran.
Well, that one Rosario hit. What do you have, an 11 pitch at bat, the first at bat, and then his next at bat on the second pitch, he hit it 450. So
yep.
Saw all the pitches.
Shota Imanaga was the one that gave up the home run. He pitched very well. Both teams pitched exceptionally well yesterday. Just the 2 solo home runs. Enough for the Yankees to get the shutout win. There is Shota. 1-2 to Rosario is fouled away.
Well, Shota's been pitching great for this Cubs team the last 4 or 5 starts. He still gets bit by some home runs, but he has been really good after a somewhat slow start.
Yankees give up the fewest home runs. Cubs give up the second most in baseball. 2-2 on Rosario. And on a night where the wind is blowing in, I just wonder if the offense is going to continue to be at a premium. That's usually the case when the Cubs and Yankees play. They typically play low-scoring games.
AJ, when you're on the way to the field, you see the lake water's rough. You know it's going to be blowing in. What is your thought process as a hitter going into a Wrigley Field game when you know the wind's blowing straight in?
I still felt like I could hit a homer. I felt like every time I played here, you could just hit a homer. I don't know. My numbers don't say I mean, I did all right here pretty well, but yeah, it just felt like every time you came here, blowing in, if it was blowing out, it was just touch a ball in the air.
Sure.
But today it is howling in, hit it low. Hit one of those little corners that stick out stuck in actually in the outfield.
Hit it low, it'll still go, right?
Oh yeah.
Rosario goes down on that Peterson changeup, a 1-2-3 inning thrown by the left-hander. And now Max Fried, the fellow lefty, coming back from the injury. It'll be his 3rd start after that bone bruise on his elbow kept him out. He's looking to keep things going well for the Yankee pitching staff.
Whether you're an athlete.
Pete Crow Armstrong leads the #2 scoring offense in baseball, better than 5 runs per game, but they got shut out yesterday. Suzuki was out of the lineup. He's back in. Kelly gets the start behind the plate. And James Triantos will make his Wrigley Field debut. They'll go up against Max Fried in his 3rd start back. He hasn't pitched a whole lot since mid-May. Had a bone bruise in his left elbow in the middle of that month. No ligament damage. Just came back in July and has made a couple of starts since, including against the White Sox earlier this week. Deals with Pete Crow Armstrong, lefty on lefty to start, and a strike to the MVP candidate. A couple of Harvard Westlake grads. Both of these guys ended up at the same high school. Fried was there for a year, well before Pete Crow Armstrong was there. Caballero, the 3rd baseman, is in with the speedy Crow Armstrong at the plate.
I think they took some at-bats off each other. In the wintertime, they both fly back to L.A.
For the chance to hang out a little bit.
Yeah, they have to, right? If you're PCA, Max, I want to see what you got.
There's a 1-1, 1-2.
Yeah, I was never a fan of that. I was never a fan of showing stuff to other big league hitters.
Interesting. These two guys, you know, Fried had his program where he was going to high school shut down and eventually made his way to Harvard Westlake. He was at Montclair Prep in Van Nuys, California. They got rid of their athletics program, and that led to Fried going to Harvard Westlake. Close pitch just outside to even the count. Of course, as you guys know, plenty of talent has come out of Harvard Westlake.
But weird that he ended up at Harvard Westlake, where Jack Flaherty and Lucas Giolito were also there at the same time. He could have went to any high school. He just happened to end up at Harvard Westlake.
2-2 pitch to Crow Armstrong, and he lays off. Another close one. This has been a big change for Crow Armstrong this year. This is why the on base is up. His patience is better, and he has become a better hitter because of it.
There's at least 2 pitches already in this at bat he would have swung at that he laid off of.
There's the swing rate and the walk rate. Big improvements. Fouled back, and he's still alive.
It was always that fine line too. You don't want to take somebody's aggressiveness from them if it's part of their strength, but then he's seemingly found a great mix of being able to swing away at the right pitches, and that's a real talent. That takes some time to learn sometimes. Sometimes you never get that.
He's made a lot of adjustments with his swing and his stance over the course of the last 2 years. He goes swinging at that one. Could not hold on. Sanchez behind the plate. A little frustrated as he tossed that ball away. AJ, you always tell me this is a little bit of luck. When you get a little foul tip, it's a little bit of luck to try to hold on to it.
No, it's all luck. There is no skill to catching those pitches. It is all luck, depending on where it hits you in the glove, how it hits your glove. You get frustrated because people say, oh, you should have had that one. No, you shouldn't have. You just hope it sticks in your glove. Now, certain catchers have been known to put some sticky stuff in their glove, Wayno, to help the pitchers out a little bit, so maybe that would help.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know who would do such a thing. Wow, what an at-bat to start the day for Crow Armstrong. He got down to 2 strikes, fought a couple off, laid off a couple, and he's aboard. Max Fried sees the first man on base, and that takes us to Fox Foresight, built with Gemini on Google Cloud. When Max Fried has come to this park, or when he has seen the Cubs, he's pitched very well, in particular at Wrigley Field. Some incredible numbers and minuscule ones at that. Here's Seiya Suzuki back in the lineup today. And a big Fried curveball, one of those pitches that has essentially helped make his career. Suzuki lays off of it.
Yeah, I've loved watching the maturation of Max Fried through the years. He came up 4-seam curveball almost exclusively, mixed in a couple of sliders here and there, maybe a changeup or 2, but now he's throwing 7 different pitches. He's mixing in a good sweeper, keeping that, like, he's covering all the speed zones that I really love when pitchers do that. He's got the upper 90s heater, he's got the upper 80s slider if he wants to, or change up in the middle, and then lower 80s, but then he throws that big Kershaw over the top curveball that just is completely an outlier.
Strike to Suzuki.
The 3 different fastballs though, and I call his, I don't always call a cutter a fastball. I call his a fastball because it's so short and it's fast enough to be called that. It's 93, 94 sometimes. He'll sit 91, 92 with it. He's really a gifted pitcher.
Suzuki waves and is late on a fastball. So Fried, that velocity is nice and crisp. This is third start back. Wayno, you were telling me when you have a bone bruise on your elbow, it sounds like it's fairly harmless. It prevents you from doing a lot of the things that you want to do.
It does. It's the finish on your pitch. You know, to be able to trust it again. His first start back after that, he was touching 99 miles an hour, so you know he feels good.
That one bounces into Sanchez, and that's easily going to give the speedy Crow Armstrong second base. And now you got a man in scoring position for the Cubs.
Well, nothing Sanchez could do on this pitch. Just a breaking ball that doesn't even, it barely gets to the dirt. He does everything he can. That ball, that's a 55-footer.
Yep.
Sanchez does everything right. You try to square it up with his chest. PCA ultra aggressive on the bases.
2-2 to Suzuki is inside, and another full count to start Fried's day. Now his pitch count, we asked Aaron Boone, are you going to extend him a lot? He goes, well, we're still probably going to be cautious, so push it out to about 70 to 80. He's been between 50 and 70 in his first 2 starts back. Payoff pitch. Suzuki breaks his bat, rolls it slowly to Chisholm at second. He'll get Suzuki. Crow Armstrong takes third. There's one down. Here are the Cubs first.
Sometimes you can tell right away what a team's approach is going to be off you today. Seems like they're going to try to wait, max out a little bit. They're taking a lot of really close pitches already, just the 2 at-bats. Some of those cutters that, a lot of his pitches, almost all of them start right down the middle and then they work to a corner somewhere. He does that so well. So he's going to have to get that on the plate, though.
Well, Bregman knows him well. Boy, he spikes another one, and Crow Armstrong is going to come home to give the Cubs the lead in the first. Well, Fried is trying to find some command. He spiked a couple in this first inning.
Another one where Sanchez really has no chance. This ball bounces well in front. I mean, that ball bounces in front of the batter's box, feet in front of home plate. Sanchez tries, but the pressure was on Fried right away by a great at bat by PCA. Yesterday, the Cubs didn't get the leadoff man on at all. Today, in the first inning, they get the first leadoff guy on. He scores today. And you mentioned how patient the Cubs are being. They know that pitch count. They know that last time out, Max Fried threw like 30 pitches in the first inning. Let's get him out.
Bregman sends the first ball of the game out of the infield for the Cubs, out to center for Spencer Jones.
Those spiked balls, sometimes that's nerves, sometimes that's, well, in the bullpen, I was leaving it up, so I was having to set my sights lower, and then you get out in the game, you go, well, dadgummit, I don't need to set my sights lower. I can just throw it like I used to. So sometimes it's nerves, and sometimes it's execution from the bullpen.
Here's Carson Kelly hitting in the cleanup spot today. There's a nice breaking ball from Fried that drops in. Remember, PCA had that nice at bat to start. He had to fight off a couple, had to lay off a couple, and then a little bit of bad luck, AJ. Like you said, it's really hard to catch those ricochets from behind the plate, but that's one of those pitches that if it goes a couple of inches the other way, maybe the inning's a little bit different.
Yeah, but again, what am I going to get mad at? Yankee fans get mad at Sanchez. The ball hit just in the heel of his glove. He wasn't planning on it hitting the heel of his glove, but PCA still had to work a walk.
Yeah.
And we talked about how poor the Yankees infield has been, or offense has been. They had the infield in the first inning.
Yeah.
First inning, they had the infield in. So Aaron Boone knows the wind's blowing in. It's going to be hard to homer. Peterson's a ground ball guy. They brought their infield in. Now, it didn't matter because Fried threw the wild pitch, but I thought it was interesting the infield was in.
Yep. Got a chance to limit the damage ahead of Kelly 1-2. And Kelly, defensive swing, fights that fastball off. Fried did not have a wild pitch on the season. He's had a couple in this inning. Again, with the caveat that he is still working his way back from injury. Had a fantastic year last year, as Wayno said, top 3 in the Cy Young voting. This was his last outing on Monday here in Chicago. The Yankees have spent the entire week in the Windy City, and they'll wrap up their 10-game road trip tomorrow. They split 4 on the south side this week. Couple of one-run extra inning losses in walk-off fashion to close out that series against the first-place White Sox. They'll wrap up this road trip tomorrow. They're 5-3 on it so far. There's another good breaking ball from Fried, and the curveball gets a swing and miss to finish off the inning. But a couple of wild pitches, Crow Armstrong scores. The Cubs have the lead in the second in Chicago.
Coles.com.
Today's telecast is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, a grand slam for your budget. Some of the players that have sported Cubby blue and the Yankee pinstripes. Great history between these two teams. Didn't play a whole lot against each other. Met in the World Series twice in the 1930s. Did not play again against one another until after interleague play, 6 years after interleague play was introduced in 2003. Jason Dominguez in right field. Ball and a strike against the Martian, the 23-year-old. Started the year in AAA, now hitting cleanup. 1-2 the count.
Jason Dominguez was one of those Yankee prospects, much like Spencer Jones, who will come up later. We heard about for years and years how they were going to be the next coming, this and that. Dominguez has had his ups and downs. He's had great spots, not great spots, but they still believe that he can be something special for this organization.
He was the first ever prospect selected to the All-Star Futures game without having played a full season in the minors. That was 5 years ago. So he had a lot of hype coming out. He goes down swinging here, and Peterson 4 up and 4 down with 3 strikeouts to start the night as we say hello to the 4th member of our team, Ken Rosenthal. Hello, Ken.
Hello, Adam. And you look at this Yankees lineup tonight, no disrespect, but it's not the New York Yankees that we are familiar with. So, without Judge, without Stanton, without Bellinger, what are they going to do at the deadline? They've been looking for a right-handed hitting catcher, but those particular players are scarce in this particular market. So they want a catcher, they want another bat, and I thought it was interesting today, guys, when Aaron Boone told us that Giancarlo Stanton could be back before Aaron Judge if Stanton continues his running progression without further setbacks.
Chisholm is retired. Thank you very much for that, Ken. You see where the particular positional ranks are for OPS for the Yankees. Judge has been out since late May, early June with a rib injury. Stanton's calf issue has had him out since late April. And Cody Bellinger just went to the IL with a hamstring injury that he injured in Philadelphia. Anthony Volpe climbs in.
Well, the Yankees and about 6 other teams are looking for a right-handed hitting catcher.
Yep. And a lot of these guys, as you talked about, AJ, they've had very up and down seasons. There have been good stretches even without Judge and Stanton offensively for this team, but overall the last couple of months it's been very tough. Volpe looks silly there. He's had a roller coaster. Forget season. He's had a roller coaster last few years. 1,077 combined home runs on the shelf for the Yankee offense right now in their careers. Just astronomical numbers, and understandable why they've taken such a dip.
Well, the first 2 weeks when Judge went down, they were okay.
Yeah.
But over the long haul, when you're missing that much, everybody person says don't try to do more, but in the back of your mind, you know the big boys aren't there, so you feel that pressure just a little bit.
Volpe gets sawed off. That's a roller to Horner, and another 1-2-3 inning toss by the ground balling David Peterson. He's had 3 strikeouts and 2 ground ball outs through a perfect 2 innings.
Only at Applebee's.
MLB app has you covered all season long. Personalized highlights, push notifications just for you. The MLB app, the #1 app for live baseball. Live baseball in the bottom of the second at Wrigley. Max Fried to Michael Busch. And a close pitch. He lays off of that sweeping curve. We have an ABS challenge from the catcher, Sanchez. They've already lost one. They cannot lose another. It's powered by T-Mobile. And that is a good challenge from Sanchez to get a strike to start off Busch. But again, early in this game, they're taking some risks.
Whew. Sanchez just said, whew. That wasn't like all in the box. That clipped half the box.
Never a doubt.
Now Bush flares one to left center field. Jones coming on. He's got it nice and easy for the first out.
It is tricky, though, when you have a curveball that's shaped like his. It's bigger shaped like that. It's a little bit of a fine art to know when that thing is crossing the exact part of the plate where that's going to be challenged.
Yeah.
Big shapes coming in from way higher than the normal curveball.
And most catchers and hitters have a hard time defining the top of the ABS strike zone. That's the one that they can figure out the low and the east to the west. It's been the top.
Nico Horner takes a strike. He's going to challenge.
Pitch is called a strike. The hitter's down.
Horner, a rare strikeout in yesterday's affair. He's only struck out 40 times all year in almost 500 at bats. And he's got as good of a feel for the strike zone as anybody. He wins that ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile. So Horner, one of the elite contact hitters in baseball, now takes a big cut. It's 1-1. Tough first half. Remember, he signed a big extension as well. He has really settled in nicely, and obviously he has some of the best defense at second base in all of baseball. 1-2. Good pitch by Fried.
That's 2 pitches in a row. You're expecting the ball coming into you. He's got that nice cutter he throws a lot of. That's the most used pitch he has. The big curveball coming into you. He throws a slider and a sweeper. All those coming into you. If he can get the sinker and the changeup going away from the right hander too, makes it that much harder.
Peel down to first. He went around, so he doubled up on that changeup floating away. And the first base umpire is Scott Berry. He rings up Nico Horner. So back-to-back games of the strikeout for Horner.
I actually expect to see a lot of this pitch from Max Fried today because the Cubs hit the cutter. They're really good against the cutter. And so he's going to have to go to this changeup. I think he went, but opponents against his changeup are hitting under 190. They're hitting 182 coming into tonight. So that has been a weapon for him. It had been the curveball big time in the past. This year it's the changeup.
He deals a cutter for a strike to Ian Happ, who has had the best numbers against Max Fried of anybody in this Cubs lineup. 7 for 11 with a couple of home runs. The longest tenured Chicago Cub who is in a walk year, along with Seiya Suzuki and Shota Imanaga. 3 key pieces. And they've signed Bregman. They extended Crow Armstrong. They extended Nico Horner. It's going to be interesting to see what happens at the end of this season. Still a long ways to go. One and two on Ian Happ. So now the off-speed stuff is starting to settle in nicely for Fried after he had that rough 23 pitch first.
Waino, you threw a big curveball like that. How hard is it to get the feel of it? You just keep throwing it until you figure it out?
Well, it's a great question because you saw him miss up and then you saw him spike a couple. Right there we saw him find that kind of tweener zone. And also, don't sleep on the wind being a factor here at Wrigley Field. Your curveball, you have to start. The only 2 parks I really ever felt like I had to start my curveball in a different spot was at Wrigley and at whatever is it Oracle now? The Giants Park?
Oh, sure, yeah.
It used to be AT&T, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, Oracle Park in San Francisco, where famously the wind has played a role in San Francisco.
In there, and sometimes, depending on if it's cross, if it's into you, it's downwind, you have to start your pitches on different locations in those 2 stadiums.
You got wind coming off the water. Check swing foul, and Happ's still alive.
I thought you were searching for the name of the Cincinnati ballpark because you love that place so much. No. That's when you said, what's the name of it? I was thinking
Satan's Dungeon or something like that. Is that what you called Cincinnati?
The Devil's Lair.
The Devil's Lair. That's right.
I love that we always bring that wretched place back up.
Cubs scored on a Crow Armstrong run, coming in a wild pitch in the first. We're in the second, and Happ's still alive, fighting off another Fried offering. So talk to me about this delivery on the curve, Waino.
Yeah, his curveball has 7 inches more vertical drop than the average curveball. That just is a lot. So you see, you're the first inning or 2, unless you pitched here a lot in the wind, you're kind of tinkering around. All right, where's my starting location today? And every time you pitch here, it's different. It's such a cool experience.
And to Fried's credit, as we showed you, he's had great numbers at Wrigley. So for the most part, when he's been in this ballpark with the shifting winds, different weather, different game profiles, he's done a very good job in this park. Obviously, the longtime Atlanta Brave pitched here a bunch. And he gets in, have to strike out on a cutter. So some of the down speed stuff for Fried is looking a little bit sharper as he gets his bearings. We played 2 at Wrigley Field. Nights with MLB Plus. Stream MLB Network 24/7 in the U.S. and select out-of-market games every week. Live radio, game day, 3D, big inning, and minor league action. MLB.com/MLB Plus to subscribe today. This guy's got some plus height. 6'7" with speed. This is Spencer Jones, playing just his 38th Major League Baseball game. Number 25 pick in 2022 out of Vanderbilt University, a very solid collegiate baseball program. Just made his debut in early May. He's been up and down. And of course, being from California at 6'7", you're automatically going to get some kind of comparisons to Aaron Judge on the other side of the plate as a left-hander. Just came back up this week after the Bellinger injury and now playing center field.
Interesting, you want to compare him to Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge hits upright. He hits bent over.
Yep.
Most guys that are big, hitting coaches will say, you're big, be big in the box. He's almost making himself smaller.
It's almost like he's a lefty slap hitter in the box, but that also speaks to his speed. He's like a 28, 29 foot per second rate. That's one of the higher rates you're going to find in Major League Baseball and one of the fastest for the Yankees. So he kind of almost stands in the box like he's ready to sprint out down the line at first, despite being at that stature.
Well, he takes 3 steps and he's at first. That's why.
Exactly. Big gazelle-like steps down the line. But he goes down here against Peterson, who's keeping the ball low and tailing one away. 7 up, 7 down, 4 Ks, and back to the second inning against Volpe.
Yeah, I love what he's doing. He's playing the X game with his heater. 4-seam ends, a little cut on it. Watch this. Watch, he puts a little more cut on these next 2 4-seamers in. He's playing off their aggressiveness inside. They want that ball in. Okay, I'll show you in. And then he's kind of breaking it off there. He's just probably manipulating the ball just a little bit more. But his 4-seam always has a little pull cut. He's adding to that a little bit on the third base side, obviously. But I love how he's.
This one hugs the line fair. Pass Bush off the sidewall. Played well by Suzuki. It's going to hold Ali Sanchez to a single. And there is the first base hit on either side tonight. It comes with 1 out in the 3rd for New York.
Yeah, and that's the kind of hit, though, when you're controlling the zone and you're moving it around in and out. It's like defensive down the line swings. You'll take those kind of hits right there, especially if they can hold him to a single. But I love how he's using his changeup away. He's burying the 4-seam in. He's coming back with the sinker. He's mixing in the breaking ball. He's really doing a great job pitching and keeping these hitters off balance.
Now looking for a ground ball with Jose Caballero, the speedster, at the plate. Tough to double him up. He's one of the fastest in the game and a base stealing threat if he gets aboard. Only guys like Ellie De La Cruz and Jose Ramirez and Jazz Chisholm have put up the type of stolen base numbers the last 2.5 years that Caballero has. Good breaking ball for a strike. It drops in to even the count.
You mentioned Caballero. He's great at what his role is, and that's getting on base, stealing bases. But have you seen the thing with him about the pitch clock? Where he looks up right at 8 seconds, which is the rule.
You have to show engagement as a hitter by looking up and basically locking and engaging with the pitcher. And the 8-second mark on the pitch clock is the cutoff time.
And I'm watching him. He's got it pretty much down to a science. Would that bother you as a pitcher, Wayno?
I wouldn't be looking at that.
Goes chasing a high fastball and goes down swinging. 2 away. Another strikeout for Peterson, who retires 8 of the first 9 Yankees first time through the order, 5 of them via the K.
You wouldn't be looking at him because he looks up right when he has to, and there's been people that have complained he's trying to play the game, mess up the pitcher's rhythm. You'd be okay with that?
Never really watched the hitter. The thing to wonder about, though, is like, is he trying to see peripherally anything going on behind him? That's one question.
Back to the top and Schumann. First pitch swinging, rolls it to short. Swanson's got it. Short out to Horner. Inning over. Yankees get the first base hit of the game, but still nothing doing for New York's offense. 1-0 Chicago to the bottom of the 3rd.
Third start back, little shaky in the first inning, much better in the second. What changed?
Just getting the command a little bit more dialed in. Feel like his stuff is in a really good spot right now. I thought even in the first he came out really pretty electric and, just about dialing that command in.
First inning, we saw you play the infield in. Obviously, you've got some big hitters out. How differently are you having to manage with the offense struggling the way it is?
Maybe a little bit, but typically with one out and just a runner at third, I'm going to play the infield in typically in that spot. There's some exceptions, but in that spot I usually would with one out.
Aaron, thanks a lot. Adam, back to you.
Yeah, Kenny, fascinating to see how you manage when the wind is blowing in, when the runs are potentially going to be at a premium. Cubs have scored their lone run without a hit. And here is the 9-hitter James Triantos, the 23-year-old from Virginia who just made his major league debut in Pittsburgh last Saturday. Got a hit in his debut, playing his third MLB game. Good numbers at AAA Iowa this year. Utility guy, can play multiple spots. The second-round pick in 2021 is quickly behind of the excellent Max Fried, 0-2.
That one, you mentioned challenging. He's in his he's in his third at bat.
But yeah, I was going to say third big league game. You're like, maybe I'm not the one. Third at bat, third game.
I love Aaron Boone's answer. I would have normally in the first inning with Judge and Stanton and Bellinger, those guys all healthy.
As Triantos foul tips it into the glove of Sanchez. There's a strikeout for Fried, 2 away.
Yeah, if I'm Max Fried right now, the wind's blowing straight in. Those guys have worked me for some deep counts. I love how he's come out this inning and just pounded the strike zone. Cutter on the plate, sinker on the plate, curveball on the plate, just right away.
Now you got the former Cub prospect Giovanni Cruz, who just got called back up today after the Yankees traded Camilo Doval, who'd been struggling, to Pittsburgh. So with Fried already into the 40s in the pitch count, might end up seeing Giovanni Cruz doing some backup. So there's the trade. Doval was struggling. Luis Cruz is a top 20 Pirates prospect, so that's who the Yankees got back along with Omar Alfonso. But Cruz takes the spot of Doval. Crow Armstrong punches it in the air. That's going to die in the wind, too, as the right fielder Dominguez is there, and Max Fried continues to work strongly and efficiently. A 6-pitch third inning. To the middle innings we go. Clorox team leaders, and these two teams are leading their wild card races that have gotten a little tighter, especially in the AL. How about the Boston Red Sox, who have flipped their season around with a 21-4 July? First pitch to Paul Goldschmidt is low as we start up this fourth inning. What an incredible run. They had fired Alex Cora early in the season. Chad Tracy steps in. And the Red Sox have completely flipped their year around. 7 games over 500 coming into action today. They've got the Dodgers this weekend. They got the victory from behind last night in the opener of that series. Goldie takes a strike. So the wild card standings have tightened up with the Yankees, Red Sox, and then that third spot has been kind of up for grabs.
Yeah, just be around 500. You're in it. Be anywhere within 5 games of 500. You're in the wild card in the AL at this point.
Swanson throws out Goldschmidt, 1 away in the fourth. The AL has been
mediocre,
very much up and down, and certainly mediocre relative to how at times competitive the National League has been. That being said, the Dodgers are starting to run away with the West. The Brewers have a great spot in the Central right now, and obviously Atlanta has the lead in the East in the National League. We got some concern here for David Peterson, though.
They got to be looking at a blister, right, Wayno?
Looks like they're looking at his hand, yeah.
Baseball fans hear about blisters all the time. They understand that it's a problem. How specifically is it a problem when you have to deal with it?
Yeah, it's. I mean, you know, in everyday life, you're like, it's just a blister, dude. But when you release a ball, if there's something on your hand that changes the way you release the ball out front on top, get the same spin out. I mean, you're talking about big league hitters that if a ball doesn't spin exactly perfect and thrown in the right location, is hit for a homer. You know, but I mean, it hurts, yeah, but the main thing is the execution of the pitch.
Back at it against Rosario, and he fires a strike on his 50th offering of the game.
He did kind of flex his arm a little bit. If you see right there, he kind of also gives it a little shake. I don't know.
Yeah, it was almost like a forearm cramp or something, didn't it?
Right here, he gets the out and ow.
Oh, okay.
We'll just get a little elbow crack real quick. That's natural.
A little pop.
Yeah.
Snap, crackle, pop.
1-2 on Rosario. A couple of former New York Mets going at it right here. Rosario in his 10th season in the big leagues, his 7th team. First full year with the New York Yankees. 30-year-old from the Dominican. Meanwhile, the tall and lanky Peterson deals, and Rosario fouls it back.
And he's a hitter who loves the ball coming into his swing, especially breaking ball from a lefty coming into his swing, four seam coming into his swing. He loves that pitch. But you see how Peterson just used that against him, used it up, out, off the plate inside. That's safe. The one that you got to worry about with Rosario is the one that starts middle and works middle in, inner third. Those are dangerous.
Skips in to even the count. Rosario obviously is so important against lefties. This is part of a platoon. Rosario and Ryan McMahon, who's the better glove, but Rosario has been a more consistent bat in the platoon this season, and the Yankees have seen a ton of lefties on this road trip. 7 of them now. There's a bouncer too short again. Swanson's got this one, and he retires Rosario. 2 up and 2 down in the 4th. This is the 7th left-hander that the Yankees are facing in what have been now 9 games. This is the 9th game of this 10-game road trip. And to their credit, they're 5-1 against the left-handed starters. That's without 2 of their big bopping right-handed bats in Judge and Stanton. They're one of the better teams in baseball against lefties this year.
Yeah, but I would, if I was facing the Yankees right now, I'd want to throw all the lefties I could at them. Especially like tonight, you lose Ben Rice, Austin Wells, Grisham, and McMahon. And Rosario's actually been better against righties this year. So that's why teams are looking at us saying, man, we need to fire all our lefties against them. But like you said, they've been beating them.
Doesn't hurt that their pitchers never give up a run.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
7 of the last 9 games they've given up 1 or less, right?
That's coinciding basically with this road trip.
How lucky are the Yankees? They get to spend a week in Chicago in the summer.
Yeah, they came in on Sunday night after their late Sunday night. They played the Phillies on Sunday Night Baseball last week, and then they've been playing all week. But hey, especially when you get a day game on a Friday in Chicago, that was probably a fun night for a lot of these guys last night. Peterson looking for another 1-2-3 inning. He jams Dominguez, a bouncer to Swanson, who's had a very busy inning, and all 3 plays were very solid from Dansby Swanson at short, the 2-time Gold Glover. One of the best infield defenses in baseball, with the perfect pitcher with the wind blowing in. A ground ball pitcher letting the infielders doing the work.
Back here at Wrigley Field with Cubs manager Craig Counsell. Craig, we saw you visit David Peterson that last inning. What was the concern?
Yeah, I think we all just saw him shaking his arm out, but Carson saw it, I saw it, Trainer saw it. We just went out there to make sure nothing was wrong. Everything's fine.
Wind's blowing in. Max Fried's on the mound. How do you adjust offensively?
Well, you saw, I mean, we got to walk, and that's the run. I mean, there's been 1 hit in the game, and we took advantage of some free bases. On days like this, you know, it's almost like you can hit a homer, but it has to be hit perfectly at the right angle. And if there's no such thing as a home run in baseball, the game becomes a very different game. Base runners, base running, moving runners becomes critically important.
Craig, thanks a lot. Adam, back to you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate the time as Suzuki fights off a breaking ball to stay alive at 0-2. That's what we talked about, guys. Runs feel like in this series, and certainly with the weather tonight, will continue to be at the premium that they've been in.
Well, what he said is the game of today's game.
Yep.
If there's no home runs, there's no runs. And that's pretty much what it's become. The Yankees are almost 50% of their runs are on home runs.
Highest percentage in baseball.
And so the wind's howling in at 25 to 30 miles an hour. David Peterson saying, here's my sinker.
Yeah.
Try to elevate it and hit it through that wind.
I love the art behind that too. Like trying to manufacture however you can, get them on, get them over. Maybe you hit and run, maybe you steal where you wouldn't normally. Love that.
Called strike 3. Good sequencing, and Suzuki frozen by Fried. 5 Ks for Max Fried, the latest on Suzuki.
You saw the good four-seam fastball there. Here's his strikeout pitches right there. The big curveball, change up, down and away, the cutter in, fastball. He's got all the pitches. He's not really a strikeout pitcher, but once he gets ahead in the count, gets you 0-2, 1-2, he can finish you with 4 or 5 different ones. He's one of those pitchers where you never really know what's coming.
Alex Bregman with a challenge on a called strike, and he's going to win this challenge. ABS powered by T-Mobile, overturned for Bregman. So he flips it to 1-0. He's had good numbers against Fried, 5 for 9 with a home run. That home run came last year as a Boston Red Sox. Signed a 5-year deal with the Cubs this year. Of course, almost a decade with the Houston Astros, and the Yankees got a lot of looks at Alex Bregman in the playoffs over the last decade. He lines one towards short over the head of a leaping Volpe, and the Cubs have their first base hit of the game. And it comes from Alex Bregman, who has played 20 playoff games in his career against the New York Yankees. Most of those with the Astros, plus a wild card series last year with Boston.
Well, they know him well. Right here, behind in the count, just throws a little cutter. Bregman beats it to the spot, lines just to left. But as a pitcher, right, Wayno, you'll take that. All right, 2-0, give up a single. It's going to take 2 more singles for him to score.
That's right, especially on a day like today. And you know you have to pitch Bregman in. He just, like you said, he beat him to the spot right there. Great hitters do that sometimes.
Carson Kelly fouls one off, and it's been a nice turnaround for Bregman in particular, who had a pretty average year, especially for his standards. He's been a very talented offensive player. And then this week, he switched up his bat. He took Dansby Swanson's bat. Guess what? He's had a hit in every game this week, including tonight. The first Cub hit of the game. Breaking ball, strike, 0-2.
If Max Fried can drop in that curveball, it just changes everything about an at-bat. You have to cover so much more as a hitter. You already know he's going to get the cutter, then you know the changeup, and then you see the fastball, which brings into the elevated fastball into a play. If you just drop that in every once in a while, when you can throw 95 miles an hour, it just messes with the hitter.
0-2 to Kelly. It really feels like a domino effect, what you're talking about, AJ. You establish one, the next one seems to work off of it, the next one seems to work off that.
Yeah, his last at bat, he finished him with the curveball. This time he gets ahead of him with the curveball, gets in that good fountain. Now you know he's going to come up top with something hard. He went with the hard cutter right there. He'll throw that cutter 94 sometimes.
0-2 to Kelly, and he flares it foul.
So now in my mind right now, he's got him set up for that big curveball again. He hasn't had a good look at it yet where he had a good swing at it. He took one, he swung and missed one. I think he's going back after 2 hard fastballs. Here it comes. And this is what he does. He's #1 in the league in average exit velo and hard hit percentage and barrel percentage. He's like top 5 in all 3 of those. He just doesn't hit the barrel.
And he misses bats. He does right there. Kelly swings and misses on that cutter. Another strikeout from Max Fried. He's got 6 of them now.
And so it's a pitch he had already thrown him, but he changed the shape of it and the velocity of it. He used it up in the zone on his hands before, and now he used it almost like a slider. The slider's in the upper 80s, but he can throw that cutter at different speeds too. You just never know. Hard to get comfortable in the box against a pitcher like Max Fried.
So 2 down for Michael Busch. There's a strike. So we've seen the velo climb up a little bit, up to about 96. We've seen 97 in there now. And after those first longer couple of innings, boy, he's been much more efficient these last 2 frames. The 6-pitch third certainly got Fried back on track. Busch taps it, and a chance to finish off this inning with nothing doing. Max Fried, outstanding defender at his position, 4-time Gold Glover, multiple-time All-Star, Times with the Braves, obviously with the Yankees last year. Largest contract ever given to a left-handed pitcher last year by New York, and had a great year last year. Looking sharp tonight too. 1-2 on Bush.
Well, Max Fried, since he's come up and been healthy, he's been good.
Oh yeah.
The one thing about him is I think a little bit the playoffs. There's some questions here and there in the playoffs. He's had good starts, but this guy, when he is healthy and right, he is as good as anybody.
Tough one to lay off of, but Bush does. 2-2.
Well, that's a great take right there. Be interesting to see if Max tries to get something in on Bush. He's so good at just driving the ball to left field and taking it with him when you only stay away from him.
This one popped up. Starting back, Jones now coming in with that wind blowing in. He had to use that long 6'7" frame to lunge out and grab it. But a scoreless fourth tossed by Fried. Cool and cloudy on a summer Saturday night in Chicago. 1-0. Cubs have the lead on the Yankees. Jazz Chisholm Jr. climbs in, facing the left-hander David Peterson. Just 3 for 16 in his career against the tough left-hander. He's dealt with a concussion this year. A free agent year, Jazz Chisholm, after a fantastic 2025. But Peterson is quickly ahead, 0-2. He continues to pitch very quickly and efficiently so far. Really kind of hit a wall, Peterson, after the all-star first half with the Mets last year. Numbers kind of tailed off. Didn't have a great first half this year. Got dealt to Chicago in late June. But he gets Jazz Chisholm down swinging, 1 away here in the top of the 5th. Dive into our Fisher Investments player profile. Really solid, fun pitching matchup so far. Granted, with a little bit of help from the elements here at Wrigley, but both Fried and Peterson, the lefties, excellent.
Yeah, both pitchers came to play today. They're executing their pitches, both sides of the plate, mixing, matching, up, down, in and out. And, you know,
hit to third, grabbed by Bregman, 2 down.
Whether it's the wind or whatever, they're being aggressive in the strike zone. They're making the hitter on the defensive. They're mixing and matching their speed so well. I just love how they're going in and out. Peterson has been strike one all night, and I've watched this. You know, I've watched a lot of his starts this year. Strike one was hard to come by for Peterson at times. He was a lot of arm side misses, and if you go back and look at 25 before the All-Star break, like you mentioned, Adam, that is exactly what he did in a lot better clip.
Spencer Jones takes up and in for ball 1.
As we watch this game, and as this game unfolds, we're already in the 5th inning. I just don't know how the Yankees score a run without a home run.
There's no home run dependent.
If the way the wind's blowing, can they string 3 hits in a row together to score a run? And the way Fried's pitching and the Yankee bullpen has been really good. This might be a 1-0 game, and it came via a walk and 2 wild pitches.
Well, Peterson continues to do well, though Bush unable to flag that one down. So a rare miscue from one of the better defensive infields in all of baseball.
The speed.
It forces you to kind of pick up your pace on defense.
Jones right there caused that play to happen. He knows he's got to come in on that ball. It looked like he could have timed his hop a little bit better, but he knows he's got to come get that and flip it, because the angle is going to be tough for the pitcher to handle and cover the base. So he had to come flying in on that ball because of the speed of Jones.
Bush, who made a couple of dynamic plays yesterday and has been an improved defender at first. Now he corrals that toss over by the lefty Peterson on the lengthy Jones, who is 3 for 3 in his limited duty stealing bags at the big league level this year. And when you get a base runner, are you going to be aggressive at any capacity? The Yankees have been a pretty high volume stolen base team this year. The Cubs have been lower volume but higher efficiency on the base paths.
You have to. You have to push the envelope if you're Aaron Boone. You know where your offense is, how limited it is. The wind's blowing in. You get an opportunity. Peterson's already thrown over once. You're at the bottom of the order. But now you have your 8-hole guy up. You have Caballero, who's like a second leadoff man next. Now is when I wouldn't send him. Now I'd say, you know what, Ali Sanchez, let's see what happens in your at bat, and then worst comes to worst, we have Caballero leading off the next inning. If he gets a hit, great. But I don't want Sanchez leading off. I'd rather have Caballero if I'm the manager leading off.
Jones stays, and he rolls it past a diving Bush. Stopping at second, Jones. Suzuki has a pretty solid arm out and right. So station to station go the Yankees, but they're able to string together a couple of base runners on an error and a rolling single into right field.
That's 2 of those that Sanchez has now. 2 balls not exactly hit great, but perfectly placed. And people at home are going to say, oh, Spencer Jones on second, he would have scored. Also, if Spencer Jones on second, Michael Bush isn't holding the runner on. This is a ground ball to first and the inning's over.
Right.
So it was just perfect placement by Sanchez, and here it comes. Caballero with the chance to get the hit to give the Yankees a run.
So both Yankee hits belong to Sanchez. Here is Caballero taking strike 1.
Off the bat, I thought Spencer was going to be able to get to third there, but Saya came in so quick on that ball. They had the second baseman played almost straight up the middle, just where he is right now. The hole was wide open, and Saya did a great job keeping him at second there.
0-2, and a chance for Peterson to make it all a moot point.
Well, also, they're playing shallow. He starts so shallow. He is so shallow right there because of the wind. Watch his quick jump to get there. You never want to make the last out at third. He might have could have made it, but he's playing so shallow. Look how shallow. He's already shallow right now, too. They are so far in because of the elements.
Caballero hits it into right for Suzuki. Here comes Jones getting the wave, trying to tie the game. The throw from Suzuki, not in time, and we're tied at 1. Caballero in the bottom of the Yankees order manufacture a run on a windy night in Chicago to tie the game.
Well, there's the announcer's jinx, but it took help. It took help from the Cubs. It took the error by Bush and then 2 singles. And if you notice a theme for the singles from the Yankees, the hits, they've all gone to right field. Sanchez 2 to right. This is a little cutter. Caballero with 2 strikes gets inside of it and just kind of pushes it down the right field line. Suzuki comes in, but that speed of Spencer Jones allows them to tie this game up. I didn't think that they could get 3 hits in a row, but the error helped them and gave them a chance.
Good meeting right here, too. Just reminding the pitcher, listen, you had an error and 2 absolute doinks. You're throwing great quality pitches right here. Keep doing exactly what you're doing.
We always talk about this when you are in Chicago, playing at Wrigley in particular. We talked to Craig Counsell about this at the beginning of the year. You know, when the weather is cold, you almost have to play a little bit differently because of the elements. Then the summer comes around, and then the wind blows out. You can swing a little differently. Then the wind blows in on a night like tonight. You have to pitch and hit a little bit differently. It's all part of the elements here on the north side of Chicago. Back to the top of the order in Schumann. First and third with 2 outs. The Yankees have tied it. The Bush error has helped them. Runner from first takes off, and Kelly's going to test it, throw down there, not in time. Caballero, one of the best in the business. 119 steals since the start of the 2024 season.
We knew that was coming.
Yeah.
He has to get to second right there. If he gets thrown out again, you have the leadoff guy up. But with his speed, Peterson going high leg kick, really focusing on the hitter.
Caballero has led the American League and the majors in steals over the last couple of seasons. Schumann, 1-1.
As a pitcher here, don't try to do too much, right? You've been throwing great quality stuff up there. Now the second and third doesn't matter, right? You're just going to make a pitch, just execute.
Chop foul, 1-2.
Isn't it crazy, though? You were a pitcher, Wayno, how a hit or a run just changes the error, right, from Bush. It was like Peterson was cruising. Okay, we get a runner on first, and then Sanchez gets a little hit. Now there's a runner on second. It's like his whole demeanor changed, and then after he gave up the run, it's a completely different guy.
And the pitch count.
75th offering of the night is hit in the air. Suzuki in right will navigate, make the catch, and finish off the inning, but the bottom of the Yankees order in a struggling offensive stretch comes through to manufacture the tying run. Take a look at our Good Hands Plays, sponsored by Allstate. Nico Hoerner continues to play Gold Glove caliber defense for the Chicago Cubs, and not just Gold Glove caliber, making the routine plays, but making the tough ones look spectacular. He's done it all season long. Those are all Play of the Week nominees and winners in Major League Baseball when he made them. He's made more of those types of plays over the course of this week. Made a diving play yesterday late in the contest as well. Two-time Gold Glover on the defensive side. Makes life easier on all of us at Dansby Swanson as middle infield man.
I think my favorite of the three, this is crazy to say because they were all so great. I mean, he did go between the legs, but my favorite one is the dive up the middle and the wherewithal to throw it to third
behind
to catch a runner behind him. I mean, that was a crazy play.
29-year-old from Oakland, California, went to Stanford, sharp cat. And one of the elite contact guys in baseball lines one past a diving Chisholm, his counterpart. And the Cubs have a base hit, just their second of the contest. The leadoff man is aboard for the second time tonight.
Common theme, take the ball the other way. Right-handed hitters, take the ball the other way. You're not going to hit a home run to left. Take what the pitcher's giving you. Shoot the ball to right.
Jazz Chisholm has been an improved defender this season after a rough year last year, but just couldn't snare that one. Hoerner's aboard for Ian Happ. Showing bunt now. And the wind is really whipping. This is not a heavy sacrifice team in the Cubs. They have 5 all season long. Obviously, Happ is trying to bunt for a base hit, but they are not a heavy bunting team. But that's how the elements may also play a factor with teams. You may see guys middle and bottom of the order throw the bunt out once more than often when the weather's like this.
On Max, you got to push it to first because he's so good at fielding third base side. Watch how he falls off.
There's the timing, though. He's trying to mess with the runner and Hoerner at first base and was trying to lull him to sleep with that kick.
This is actually a closer play than it looked. Goldie kind of looked in the thing and said, man, I caught it right on his back. It might be something to review here.
Now, I wonder if Aaron Boone would consider a challenge there. Was very close, and I agree with you, closer than maybe we even thought at the start of that play. But a disengagement there. Hoerner has 16 steals on 19 tries this season. There's that timing of the leg kick. Tapper foul, 0-2.
Well, what Fried's trying to do with the runner there is almost like a hang move. So he brings his leg up really slow in case he's going first move. If he's going first move, he can pick him off. But he hangs there and he reads what he's doing. Right here, he goes straight over there. And that play is closer. He's back, but he's waiting to see if he goes or not. If they go first move, he'll go right to first. And if he doesn't go first move, then he knows that he gives his catcher enough time. Not many left-handed pitchers are able to do that because they lose their timing and rhythm. Max Fried can do it.
Career high 7 pickoffs last year, 2 this year. Another breaking ball is bounced to third. Tough play. The third baseman Caballero will make it to get Ian Happ. That will move the runner in Hoerner to second base in scoring position. 1 down in the 5th.
It's such a weapon. 7 pickoffs. 7 outs where you didn't have to get it out of the plate. That's a huge deal, man. Left-handers that don't have a good move, I could never understand that.
He's done it 36 times in his career, man.
It's just a weapon.
Here's Dansby Swanson trying to break a 1-1 tie. And what has been a rougher year than we're used to seeing. Swanson is one of the streakier hitters you'll find in baseball. But for the most part in his career, he's wound up being about a .250 hitter, which is above league average. This year, under .220 for Dansby. He's still shown some power, 16 home runs after 24 a year ago. And taps it foul, 1-1.
Yeah, it's always been like, what are you okay with Dansby at the plate? Because you know he's going to play Gold Glove caliber at short, and then all of a sudden he became a much better contact hitter. He cut down on his strikeouts. He was able to handle the breaking balls away from him a lot better. This year he's kind of reverted to his old self where he's pulling off that ball away a little bit more, but he still, like you said, has that juice in the middle of the plate.
1-on-1 out in the 5th on a 1-1 game, and another wheel around by Max Fried to keep Hoerner close. So there is action behind Fried, who has now hit 70 pitches. That's Angel Chivilli, who just turned 24 years old this week. That'll be fun for all of us to make sure we got right. He is a fun pitcher. Swanson out to center field for Jones. And he'll make the catch for the second out. Hoerner stays at second base.
Chivilli?
Chivilli.
Got a good changeup, I know that.
They've been using him a little bit more than maybe Aaron Boone wanted to. The guy who debuted when he was 21, he just turned 24 this week. But they've had to fill in some holes in that bullpen. And as you guys have said, the Yankee bullpen, right along with their starting rotation, has been rock solid. The #1 ERA amongst relievers in baseball belongs to the Yankee pen.
He's been really good too for him, and that signals to me that this is Max Fried's last inning out on the mound, because he's at 70 pitches. They said between 70 and 80, and Aaron Boone's thinking, wow, he's at 71. If he gets out of this, maybe 74, 75. 5 innings, that's a nice outing for Max Fried.
I mean, he, after that, not laborious first couple of innings, but a little longer, a little tougher first couple of innings, he settled in really nicely, and this is pretty much what Aaron Boone could have, the best he could have hoped for somebody who's coming back off injury. So here is James Triantos, the rookie. Nice breaking ball. That is from the outside coming back over the plate. That's ball to strike, and a good sign. That's been Fried pretty much since the second inning with those breaking balls.
I love the meeting too between Fried and Sanchez before this hitter. Give me everything you got.
Yeah, go ahead and challenge him. Nice play by Caballero. He retires Triantos, and Max Fried in his 3rd start back from that elbow issue with a very strong performance at Wrigley, as he's always had. Old-fashioned pitchers duels this weekend at Wrigley Field between the Cubs and the Yankees. Paul Goldschmidt leads off the Yankees 6th, taking a strike from David Peterson. He's been in a battle with Max Fried with the wind blowing in at Wrigley tonight. Paul Goldschmidt, 138 career games against the Chicago Cubs. He's hit 32 home runs, 13 at this ballpark, and if you do have a guy that can muscle one out against the wind, maybe this is your best bet. But quickly 1-2 on Goldie.
Yeah, and I like that he's keeping it away from Goldie right here too. I mean, like you said, if there's somebody who can line a ball over that Gallagher sign out there, it's Goldschmidt.
It's been fascinating to watch the bounce back season for the 38-year-old Goldschmidt, former NL MVP, will turn 39 in September. Dreadful year last year, and has changed up the swing and has been so solid, especially in a year where there have been so many key offensive injuries for New York. And alongside that, back to what has been really strong defense for the former 4-time Gold Glover. Big improvement, already surpassed his homer total. He golfs one foul. Still 3-2.
These are the at-bats that Aaron Boone talked to us about with Paul Goldschmidt. They'll say, he struggles, and they'll throw a 12-pitch at bat.
Yep.
On a righty or a lefty and change the dynamics of a game.
Called strike 3. Froze Paul Goldschmidt that time. Boy, David Peterson with another strong sequence. 7 strikeouts, 1 down in the 6th. Down to Ken Rosenthal for more.
Adam, you guys mentioned it last inning. David Peterson was an all-star last season, but his struggles this season led the Mets to yank him in and out of the rotation. So while he was disappointed to leave the team that drafted him, he told me, at the same time, I felt like it ran its course. I couldn't get things going in the right direction long enough to make a difference. And you go through stages like that where sometimes it's just kind of inevitable that change is going to happen.
Good stuff, Kenny. That's a nice play by PCA for the second out. Peterson was the longest tenured New York Met at the time he was traded. And over these last few starts, since he got shellacked at Wrigley by the St. Louis Cardinals, Goldschmidt's old team, boy, he has really settled things down, and tonight has been his best outing, backing up what he did in St. Louis earlier this week. 2 up and 2 down for Dominguez.
That changeup was one of those, like, whoopsie-daisy good pitches. You know, it didn't come out like you wanted to, but it froze him because it didn't come out like you wanted to. I mean, he probably got a swing if he starts it where he wants to, but he was able to freeze him because it kind of started ugly up and just didn't look right, so Goldie took it.
Dominguez cracks one in the air. Corner giving chase, so is Suzuki out of play.
And that's a pitch that Goldschmidt probably would have challenged if they had 2 challenges left. But they've already lost one, so it might have touched the zone, maybe not, but I think that was one. If they had 2 challenges right there, leading off an inning, would have been a leadoff walk. He would have tapped his helmet. But being the veteran player that he is, he knows he can't burn that last challenge right there.
There's a strike, 1 and 2. Dominguez, the 23-year-old, waits for a Peterson offering. Takes outside to even the count. Such pressure on so many of the young prospects that have come up in the last few years for the Yankees, and Dominguez and Volpe. Now guys like Jones and Sanchez. Hammered down the left field line, pulled towards the corner. That's going to drop fair and one hop the wall. Dominguez into second base with the first extra base hit on either side tonight. And the Martian is in scoring position with the go-ahead run in the 6th for New York.
110.2 off the bat. That's the one way. If you're going to hit an extra base hit, you better hit a line drive. And that's just a little cutter that doesn't do a whole lot. And Dominguez was all over it.
He's on that, I think, too, AJ, because he got him so good. Remember, he was throwing those nasty cutters in on him off the plate earlier, but you're trying to bury it in and you leave it over the plate. That looks totally different to a hitter, doesn't it?
Oh, no doubt. Those are the ones you see let come out of the hand and your eyes light up. Oh, I can hit that one.
Well, Peterson getting close to the end of the line, it feels like here. In a big spot, tie game in the 6th. Chisholm bounces one foul.
He's had Jazz on his heels this whole game. He's just kind of flying out of the batter's box. Be very surprised if he brings anything into Jazz to swing at right here.
Well, his first at bat, he swung first pitch and hit a weak ground ball to shortstop off the end of the bat. And then his last at bat, he carved him up. Boom, boom, boom. See you later. So he is, like you said, Wayno, made him look very uncomfortable.
Chisholm takes outside and low. A 30-30 season for Jazz last year. He's got 30 steals this year, past the halfway point of the home run total. He had some lofty goals at the beginning of this season, may not hit them, but he still had overall a decent campaign. Weaves and misses 1 and 2.
Well, if you remember, he said he was going to go 50-50 this year.
Yep, lofty. But again, 16-30, not too bad. You end up with a 20-30 season. After a 30-30 year, you'd be pretty happy with that just about anyway. They're trying to will Peterson to the finish line of the 6th.
That's the right pitch right there. I think you could stick a fastball down and away now. If you could just stick one right there after he's taken that slider off the plate away, go up the same lane right here and just stick it down there. I think he'll take it.
2-2. 3-2.
That was the idea, though.
Yep.
Now you go slider here, though, 3-2, don't you? Or you try to stick another heater down there. Don't miss on the plate. This is either perfect pitch or ball 4 for me.
Yeah, I agree.
1-1 game in the 6th. The payoff to Chisholm from Peterson. Got him. Peterson fired up after another strong outing. 6 innings. He leaves the go-ahead run stranded, and we're tied at 1. 6 great innings from David Peterson. He leaves the go-ahead run stranded in the 6th inning. Now Pete Crow Armstrong in the top of the Cubs order facing Max Fried in the bottom of the inning trying to take the lead. And look at Peterson fired up after the strikeout of Jazz Chisholm to close out that 6th inning.
I said perfect pitch or ball 4. He threw the perfect slider down and away. And now you have Max Fried.
Fouling one in our direction, just above our heads, facing PCA here, AJ.
I think this is his last hitter. We mentioned his pitch count. In to get the lefty out.
Yeah, you got a pocket of righties coming up.
Pocket of righties coming up. And by the way, David Peterson, let's give him his kudos.
Absolutely.
Great job. One run, no earned runs, no walks, ton of ground balls. Great job by David Peterson.
Stuff was great right from the very first pitch of the game.
Whew. 97. Whew.
Yeah.
Max Fried.
6th inning on the 76th pitch of his night.
Did you see him fall off? He's putting everything he's got into these pitches.
AJ, you're right. This has got to be the last guy. He is pumping everything he's got against the MVP candidate. The 1-2. Yanks one that time. You can really tell that he knows he's at the end of the line. Again, his 3rd start back. They were originally going to have him throw his 2nd rehab start. And then hours before his rehab start, he was already with the team. They go, hey, why don't you just pitch tomorrow at the big league level instead? A few hours before that rehab assignment. GVE is ready to go. Called strike 3 on PCA. Will he challenge it?
Nope.
He will not. And if that's the final batter of Fried's night, what a way to finish. Sure is. Here comes Aaron Boone.
I love PCA's reactions. No.
They have 2 challenges with which to work. He opted not to challenge it. And what a job by Max Fried, who has really looked like his old self over the course of the last few starts coming back from the elbow. Still 1-1. To the mound to face Seiya Suzuki, a guy who debuted 3 years ago when he was 21 years old, former Colorado Rocky, who saw a lot of big numbers thrown up at Coors Field, understandably so. But this year with the New York Yankees, he's put up excellent numbers. He's been used a lot this week. 3 out of 4 games entering the series, was off yesterday. Now back at it tonight. Suzuki takes a close one low, and it's 2-1.
Well, if you're looking for fastballs out of Chiva-E, don't expect a lot. He's got one of the best changeups. He's 42% and almost 40% slider. Opponents are hitting barely 100 off the changeup, so you're going to see a lot of changeups and sliders.
There's the heat.
And by the way, he throws 100.
Yeah, by the way.
He throws 20% fastballs. Wait, no, and he throws 100.
Suzuki in a high leverage count. And he'll take the walk. So GVE is in there for Fried. This was the last pitch. We were kind of thinking, like, would PCA challenge that one right at the top of the zone? He thought about it. You have to be definitive in tapping it. He didn't tap it.
Fake there.
A little pump fake. He even put his hand on his chin like the thinker. Like, I wonder.
It would have clipped the very top of the box, too.
Yep. There's a strike to Alex Bregman. So Suzuki is aboard. 1 on, 1 out in the 6th. PCA has the lone Cubs run in this game. Yankees manufactured their lone run in this contest with the bottom of their order in the 5th inning to tie it. After a 1-out error, back-to-back singles brought home the game-tying run.
AJ, would you consider a hit and run here? Contact hitter at the plate.
Yes, but they won't.
Yes.
They don't do that anymore. I mean, yes, 100%. And you have the whole right side is open.
Right side's open.
But
I mean, it's there if they want it.
Here's the thing, if you're Craig Counsell, though. GVE can get a little wild. Alex Bregman doesn't chase out of the zone.
Yeah.
He just walks Suzuki. They're trying to get pressure on Chiva-E.
So instead, you just let him walk him.
Yeah, right at this point, yes.
Yeah.
Back-to-back 3-1 counts to start his night to Suzuki and now Bregman.
Days like this with the wind blowing in, you can't give free passes. Got to make them earn their way on the base paths.
Tap foul, 3-2. You can really see the velocity. Carson Kelly on deck. Suzuki at first, big hole right side. 3-2 on Bregman. Upstairs, back-to-back walks drawn by the Cubs.
Pitcher call the ball.
The best walk drawing team in baseball.
Pitcher challenge.
Although a challenge from GVE here. They only have one challenge to lose.
Pitcher the ball, New York Yankees challenges.
They are out of challenges the rest of the way.
And that's why pitchers aren't ever allowed to challenge right there. That's what I think every team I've spoken to, Aaron Boone's going, what had just happened? But every team I've spoken to has said, unless you're a super veteran pitcher, you don't get to challenge. It's catcher and hitter. And now they're out.
So meeting on the mound with Matt Blake coming up August 9th on Fox. The Stars of IndyCar going full throttle out west in Portland. August 9th only on Fox for a really fun IndyCar season. They hit the home stretch. I know I harped on it earlier, and I've seen it a lot in the NFL, and I call the NBA as well. So you see how the challenge system in the NBA has worked. So I've gotten a feel, and I think coaches in those sports have gotten a feel for when to use those coaches' challenges, knowing that you only have so many incorrect challenges with which to work. It has been a slog for some teams to figure out high versus low leverage situations to use those challenges, and for a lot of young guys who maybe are excited at the big league level to use the challenge system, which they used in the minors. Boy, those feel way more magnified at this level, don't they? 2 on for Kelly. Strike 1 from GVE.
Well, especially when it's your last one.
Yeah.
We saw Goldschmidt think about it. We saw PCA think about it. You better be right if it's your last one. That's kind of the way I look at it.
Left center field, Jones has a step over, a few of them. He's got it, 2 up, or 2 down, I should say. There's the first out recorded by GVE. Now Michael Bush will face a right-hander now. A couple of flyouts to center field against the lefty Fried. Yankees pitching has carried them in the absence of their big bats. Fried was excellent tonight. Schlittler's been outstanding on an all-star campaign. Warren was excellent yesterday. Both pitching staffs have held the offenses in check. Two 2-0 on Bush, so GVE getting behind just about everybody he's faced so far.
This is where he has to be careful. I know he's got a great fastball. He's got to make sure this gets down. If he leaves it out over the plate, fastball, Bush goes to left center really well in these situations.
Nice pitch. Backdoor breaking ball to clip the corner, and it's 2-1. He gets back into the count with that pitch.
Perfect pitch, too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you don't want to swing at that 2-0, do you, AJ?
No.
But again, that's a third 3-1 count in 4 hitters he's faced. And now Bush is ahead in a high leverage situation.
What do you throw? You haven't shown you can throw a changeup for a strike, which is his best pitch. You got to throw the slider. You got to try to make a perfect one like you did 2-0.
3-1 on the ground. He gets the ground ball he was looking for. Chisholm retires Bush, and GVE, the 24-year-old, comes on to finish off a scoreless 6th for Fried. Foresight built with Gemini on Google Cloud. A 1-1 game to the late innings, and the Yankees with a 45% chance to win this game. They've been one of the best road teams. They've played so many of these types of games. They've had to go to extra innings a bunch where they have not been successful. They're trying to get going against David Peterson, who gets a ground ball from Volpe back up the middle to Horner. And a season high in pitches thrown by Peterson tonight, 96. He's got one out in the 7th, and maybe get the sense that maybe this is the last batter. The lefty Jones is up.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Bottom of the order.
Maybe let him go through. What do you guys think?
Sanchez does have both hits
does have both.
in both his at-bats.
You got lefty here. Jones sends one out to left field. Ian Happ looking around, and it's gone! With the wind blowing in, Spencer Jones muscles it out to put New York in front on an opposite field shot liner.
Now he's out. Wow. We mentioned how you could get one out of here. It's got to be low and hard. And Spencer Jones, that's what they love about him. He's got pop. He'll swing and miss with the best of them, but that ball didn't go 50 feet over above the ground.
His 4th career Major League home run, his 2nd in Chicago this week. His 3rd in the last 4 games, and boy, that was an impressive delivery. 2-1 Yankees on a night where the wind's blowing in. Peterson cannot believe it. Spencer Jones, his 5th career big league home run. 3 of them have come in Chicago this week. 1 at the Sox and back-to-back nights at Wrigley. But this one going through the wind. So now Trent Thornton comes in. Nice breaking ball on Ali Sanchez to start him off. New York using the home run ball to generate 3 of its 4 runs in this series. And how about the 7, 8, 9 hitters? Bottom of the order has produced both runs for New York tonight. A gift for Aaron Boone in New York tonight from the bottom of their order.
An absolute rocket. 22-degree launch angle, 370 feet. Just got over the basket. That was where, remember, Ali Sanchez does it again.
Another one. 3 hits tonight, all to the right side for the Yankee catcher.
But they don't move the second baseman over. They never make that adjustment. Pitchers are going, can we, he's got 3 now. Can we, next time we see this guy, can we move him over a little bit?
Boy, the feeling of this game. AJ, you talked about how the feelings of games change based off of 1 at bat, 1 pitch. The feeling of this game, just seeing the Yankees get a home run.
That look sums it up.
Oh my God, Craig Counsell, perfect kind of epitome of that right there. Perfect microcosm. He's like, how did that get through? How did that cut through the wind?
But when we talked about a home run, we said it, we'd have to hit one right in the where it cuts in the outfield, not out, and he hit it right in the corner.
Wayno, I think you pointed out earlier verbatim, it's got to go by that Gallagher side, and that's just about, maybe a little to the left of it, where it goes. Carson Kelly with an ABS challenge here. It's going to be called a ball.
Yeah, 5 feet to the left. That's in that little deeper nook right there, isn't it? He just found the perfect spot. It's a home run in exactly 1 park in the big leagues. But you know, PCA hit the ball earlier that probably would have been 20 rows up some days here. You have to play the win here. It's like that sometimes.
Runner goes, swing and a miss for a strike. Throw down to second, and Kelly will cut down Sanchez on his first stolen base attempt of this season. And just the 4th of his major league career, Kelly cuts him down.
We asked for a hit and run, you got a hit and run. There it was.
Yep.
Just no contact, and with us athletic catchers running, it made it for an easy throw for Carson Kelly.
Well, that's the 2nd out of the inning. Good defense. And again, just a flailing swing by Caballero. Unable to make the contact he needed. Now late on the fastball, 1-2.
Those are the ones as a catcher, you're so happy. Oh, the guy swung and missed. I got a good pitch to throw on. I can throw him out. Those are stat patterns right there.
Yeah, and no possible way for him to make contact unless he throws the bat right there. It's slider in the other batter's box.
One and two on Caballero, who had the RBI single to tie the game at 1 in the 5th. Two and two. We have played almost 16 full innings at Wrigley Field this weekend. Only 5 combined runs between these two offenses. Yankees with the lead now. And a 3-2 count on Caballero.
I like the attempt from the Yankees there, though. They know if they get another run, I mean, that's going to be really hard to push 2 more runs across. Any kind of insurance is huge.
And Caballero works himself back to a walk against Thornton. Time for our Power Player, sponsored by Walmart Plus. Look no further than Spencer Jones, who added the second Yankees run yesterday with a 418-foot home run to right. And tonight, it may be one of the few spots you can actually get one out with the wind blowing in. That 6'7" frame, the long arms, the levers, carrying one, cutting through it, just clearing the fence, much to the chagrin of the Cubs manager.
Now we're going to see a parade of the lefties coming out for the Yankees. Here Grisham's going to pinch hit, and we'll see Ben Rice at some point. We might see McMahon at some point. Yankees are going to use their bench weapons that they didn't start because David Peterson was pitching.
Trent Grisham will climb in. Been the main leadoff man this year. He was hitting in the middle of the order yesterday, where he went 0 for 4 and hit the game-ending double play. He'll come into the top spot. He'll play in the outfield with his Gold Glove after this. So Schumann is done for the night. Cubs scored first in the first without a hit. The Yankees have scored the last 2 to take the lead, including the Jones solo shot here in the 7th. Close pitch, Grisham takes. All the way, 1-1. And you got Caballero over there at first, who's already stolen a base tonight.
But interesting what the Cubs are doing with Michael Busch. He's listening on the pitch comm if they're throwing over. He'll put his hand over his glove over his ear, listen, and he's basically walking out with Caballero. Now he'll fake like he's going back right here before, whether they throw over or not. He fakes, they throw over. Well, he's faked the last couple times. It's just messing with Caballero. He's known for stealing bases.
Yep.
That's just a way of trying to get him to think a little bit and not get the greatest jump. He's already out there, Michael Busch. Now he's walking back. Now he'll go back out. So they're just trying to mess up his timing over there.
Now Caballero goes. Kelly throws down to second. Into center field. Not far enough to advance Caballero further, but that is his second steal of the night. Now 27 bags lifted on the season for Caballero.
He's got a great jump right there. A huge lead. He had already picked off once. It was just everything was in his favor right there.
Yeah, but that's the one as a catcher. Remember when you throw out the other catcher stealing?
That's not a stat pattern.
No, that is the opposite.
That's the ultimate challenge, or one of the ultimate challenges here with Caballero. Cruz is ready. Swing and a miss on that fastball from Thornton, 2-2.
But if you notice, that one Busch didn't go out with him.
Yep.
Busch did the traditional, I'm going to hold the base. Caballero thinks, oh, I can get a better jump now. He's not walking with me. What is he doing? Steals it pretty easily.
Deuces wild in the 7th. And Kelly pumps it on a breaking ball low. Grisham did a good job of holding back. Very low chase rate from Grisham. Very rarely does he go out of the zone to go after a pitch like that. Now 3-2. Yankees started their year 36-23 through May before the injuries really started to take hold. Since Judge went down, they're a game over 500. They are threatening to add on here in the 7th in a 2-1 game. Another walk. It's back-to-back issued by Thornton. And now Paul Goldschmidt will counsel the tension rising a little bit here in a tight game. Goldschmidt swings at the first offering. A breaking ball popped up. Bush navigating the wind. He's got it, and the inning is over, but Spencer Jones continues to stroke it here in Chicago. The frustrations from Thornton. But it was Peterson's final pitch that Jones took the other way. A liner to cut through the Chicago elements for a 2-1 lead for New York at stretch time. In your farm system, if you want to acquire the services of Tarek Skubal, all these teams outside of the Cubs and the Yankees are also thinking about bringing him in. These are the other teams that are very much candidates for the 2-time Cy Young Award winner, who had an emotional outing in Detroit earlier this week. Nico Horner facing the new right-hander, the 36-year-old Fernando Cruz, the most used right-hander in this bullpen. The former Chicago Cub minor leaguer, with his long and winding road to get to the big leagues, is on for the 52nd time for Aaron Boone's bullpen.
If you like splitters, Fernando Cruz is your guy. He throws a lot of splits.
Trying to protect the lead. Good movement on that pitch, but it misses inside. You got defensive changes behind Fernando Cruz as well. You got Trent Grisham, who took the spot of Schumann in the order. In the leadoff spot, he'll stay in center field, sliding Spencer Jones into left. A ball and 2 strikes on Nico Horner. Horner, Happ, and Swanson due up here in the Cubs 7th.
I think the Brewers are going to go after Skubal.
They've got one of the best farm systems and one of the deepest farm systems, so that would certainly be appealing to Detroit. The 1-2.
I think the Brewers, which probably means the Dodgers, are going to end up with Skubal.
Well, that seems to be the prevailing thought. Ken Rosenthal, you can add on to it.
Adam, it's really difficult to know exactly what's going on, but today the Tigers began engaging teams more seriously. Obviously, you would expect that with the deadline 2 days away. The Dodgers certainly are one of the teams lurking. The Brewers have been involved in this. Reported yesterday that the Brewers would be willing to take on the entire remaining salary.
Nico Horner, one swing to the corner. It is a foul ball. One of the most unexpected sources on one of the more unexpected nights at Wrigley. Nico Horner goes yard to tie the game. Two in the 7th, just like that.
Wow, that was loud and fast.
So loud.
Here's Happ turning around to bat lefty against Fernando Cruz. And suddenly Wrigley Field comes to life after a shocking Horner swing to cut through that wind and line it just fair and left.
That's the height, like you said, AJ.
Low.
Can't get higher than that and get out of this park today.
2-1.
If you're going to hit one, it's got to be low like that. And Nico Horner watched Spencer Jones do it, and he did the same thing. Back to Skubal, though, I'd love to see the Brewers or the Rays get him.
Yeah.
That'd be so. You go Mizorowski, Skubal, Kyle Harrison. That's a pretty good 1, 2, 3.
Lined the other way by Happ. Jones waiting for it, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Nico Horner interrupting Ken Rosenthal to tie this game. Again, in one of the few spots you can hit a homer tonight. Swanson takes ball 1 upstairs. On the bouncing ball, that's a fair ball. Throw over to first base, and Swanson retired for the second out. Back down to Ken Rosenthal as we were chatting about Derek Skubal, Kenny.
Well, Adam, that was a pretty cool interruption, I gotta say. Now, what I was saying was that the Brewers are willing to take on the remaining salary, which is about $9.4 million. That's impressive considering they play in the smallest market in the majors, and it's an indication of their willingness to do this, kind of a repeat of the CC Sabathia deal in 2008. Now, whether they can accomplish it is another question. They have one of the game's best farm systems. So do the Dodgers. And the Dodgers are trying to three-peat, and they are obviously a team that is always lurking in these situations. This appears to be coming to a head. It has to come to a head relatively soon. This is going to be the biggest story of the weekend going into Monday's trade deadline.
To me, though, the Brewers have not been to a World Series since 1982. They need him more.
Yeah.
Here's the pinch hitter, Ramirez.
They need him more. That's it. They need him more. Again, Mizorowski, Skubal, Harrison when he comes back, the way that offense is played, the way that bullpen and Pat Murphy handle things. Can you imagine the excitement in Milwaukee if they go out and get Derek Skubal?
It'd be quite the coup, it feels like. Considering the big market teams that certainly want to acquire Skubal.
The last big pitcher they went out and got, if I'm remembering, was CC Sabathia.
Yep, as Kenny was talking about.
No wait. And that was a total game changer. But going into a series, like you said, AJ, with those 3 guys at the top, you can beat anybody. And good for small market teams.
Yes. Yes.
It's been a discussion with the
CBA coming up
at the end of this season, and negotiations between owners and the union. Ramirez standing in, a switch hitter, pinch hitting for Triantos here in the 9 spot. He started yesterday, the 22-year-old from a small town in Venezuela who made his major league debut in May. Just his 38th big league game. Nico Horner, his 2nd home run this week, has tied this game at 2. Fouled away by Ramirez.
Oh, Peterson right there gives him a long, slow hug. And puts his head on his shoulder maybe and just says, dude, I appreciate you, man.
Thanks for getting me off the hook, brother.
Let me spit that hook right there. I'll sleep better now.
Peterson right behind his second baseman. Yeah, Horner's hit 2 this week, but again, on a night like tonight, didn't expect the ball to really leave the yard, but Jones and Horner have done it in one of the few spots you can get one. Payoff pitch, fouled back in our direction. From Temblador, Venezuela, Pedro Ramirez. PCA is on deck. He's trying to extend the inning to him. Another 3-2, and he draws a walk. And that will allow Crow Armstrong to come to the plate. On a night where the elements have played a huge role in the game profile, how the pitchers went, Fried versus Peterson and Dudul, how the offenses have approached this game, suddenly the ball flying out on these low liners, and this game is tight into the late innings, something these two teams are used to.
You're right, and you have to hit it 50 feet or below to get it.
We're going to get Waino's thoughts on this game after the break. They're going to go ahead and go deeper into the bullpen. So Cruz is done. Booney makes the change in a 2-2 game with the potential MVP coming up. Here we go. Brent Hedrick, the most used reliever for the Yankees. The lefty out of the pen to take on Pete Crow Armstrong. Go ahead and run at first base and Ramirez. First pitch just off the plate, Waino. This is obviously a crucial at bat in this game.
Yeah, and they brought in their trusted guy. He's been so solid this year, and then Cubs got their man at the plate. I mean, this is battles like this, pitchers duels. It comes down to 1 or 2 at bats a game.
Comes back with a strike on the corner, 1-1. Hedrick has been so good for this excellent Yankee pen. 1 earned run in his last 23 outings. Crow Armstrong's power comes more against right-handers, but obviously he's hit both lefties and righties well. A 1-1, 2-1.
PCA, he's seen 2 line drives go out of the park too. So if anybody can get one out, he can backspin a ball with the best of them.
Out in front, 2-2. Big pitch by Hedrick on a slider.
Nasty. I love the adjustment PCA made. He moved closer to the plate, which made the strike zone seem a little more real and honest for him. And then you get this pitch. Just bottom falls out of that pitch. That's why Hedrick's been so impressive.
Into right field. That is down for a base hit. Crow Armstrong racing. Ramirez into third, getting the sign to come home. And this game belongs to the Cubs in the 7th now. It's 3-2. PCA delivers. The momentum has shifted now here in the 7th, 3-2 Chicago.
Little breaking ball. PCA just hits this off the end of the bat and floats it down the right field line. Jason Dominguez, not used to playing here in Wrigley. You cannot let that ball get by you no matter what. You have to play it off the wall, and that lets Ramirez score from first easily without a throw, and PCA's on third. That ball cannot, Waino, cannot get by you.
Yeah, I don't think PCA's feet hit the ground all the way to third either. He was floating. It was the pitch he wanted to make. It might have been a little bit more plate than he wanted, but it was out there. Like you said, PCA just stayed through it. It sounded like he broke his bat.
Knocked down by Sanchez. Now 3-0 the count.
MVP? Question mark?
So they've been chanting. They were chanting that right before that RBI triple. So now Suzuki ground out a strikeout and a walk. Another 3-1 count on Suzuki. Seen a couple of those tonight.
But you know how we were mentioning him moving up on the plate?
Suzuki golfs it foul.
That allowed PCA to get that ball. He had just enough more, a little bit more plate coverage outside, and he caught that ball right off the end of the bat. If he's 3 or 4 inches farther away, that's a swing and a miss. By moving up in the plate, a la Anthony Rizzo did as a Cub, it gives you more plate coverage.
And now Suzuki tacks one on. Crow Armstrong scores, and it's 4-2 Cubs. Suzuki on his way to second. He's in there.
Did he come off?
New York is challenging the safe call at second base.
That's what Aaron Boone is thinking about, Wayno. Did he come off the bag after driving in the run? Did he get back on? Oh, the glove is on him while he was off the bag.
Hold on. Does his equipment count because his shin guard is on the plate, is on the bag still?
I'm wondering if it popped though a little bit. I think that's what the question might end up being. Now the Yankees are coming off the field after they see this. So it looks like that padding has just kind of popped up into the air with Jazz's glove on Suzuki. So he is out. It's an RBI single. The run does count, and the Cubs with a 3-run frame, starting with a Nico Hoerner solo home run cutting through the wind. And then they manufacture a couple of more with Hoerner and Crow Armstrong responsible for a couple of key runs. Suzuki drove in another, and the Cubs have the lead to the 8th. Big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. Official jerseys, memorabilia, hats, and hoodies. MLBshop.com, the official source for your favorite team gear. The Cubs bullpen does not have defined roles right now with all the injuries they're dealing with, but the bullpen, after Crow Armstrong, Hoerner, and Suzuki all drive in a run, the bullpen with a chance to try to put this game away for Chicago with 6 outs to get. The Yankees will have the heart of their order. Rosario, Dominguez, and Chisholm due up, and Jacob Webb, who has closed at points this season after Daniel Palencia got hurt, now in an 8th inning spot. Rosario takes high. The Cubs have used 13 different pitchers to record a save this year. Their 23 saves have come from 13 pitchers. That's a franchise record. And we just started August. Rosario lines one into center field, a base hit, and the Yankees will bring the tying run to the plate in the 8th. So with the up and down nature of this Cubs bullpen, a 2-run lead does not feel safe with 6 outs to go.
Well, we talked to Craig Counsell. He said, 3-pitch, 3-hitter pocket, and sometimes the most important outs are in the 8th. But there's something about closing the game. You know this, Wayno. Some guys can do it, some guys can't. I don't know. I never like a team that doesn't have a defined closer. It always seems to backfire at some point. And I know teams are trying it. The Cubs are trying to do it. But the good teams always seem to have that hammer in the 9th inning.
Dominguez takes high. So many pitcher injuries for the Cubs. The way the Yankees are dealing with it on offense, the Cubs are dealing with it in their pitching staff, both starters and bullpen. Dominguez with a little cue shot roller foul against the shifted infield, 1-2. Ken Rosenthal not only reporting on various goings-on in this game, but around the league. What do you got, Ken?
The Atlanta Braves have made a trade. They are going to acquire from the Kansas City Royals the outfielder Lane Thomas, right-handed bat, kind of in demand, and the left-handed pitcher Bailey Falter.
Hey, Lane Thomas has had some big swings in the postseason the last couple of years. Dominguez takes low. Bailey Falter has pitched in the postseason as well for Minnesota a couple of years ago.
Interesting. Not the big names, but their filling needs, and the Braves striking early.
2-2 on Dominguez. Line shot towards the corner, but foul.
When I heard Kansas City, I thought Michael Wacha.
Yeah, that's he's out there.
Another guy with plenty of late season experience, as you know, Wayno.
Can we tell Kenny though, don't tease us? Late
I tried not to give you like the guys. We have huge news. Yeah. I didn't want to put you guys into a spot.
Stop teasing us, Kenny.
In the air to right, Suzuki. He will call out PCA. There's the first out of the inning. Kenny, again, we're being very cautious with you, Kenny, tonight.
Adam, we're doing our best down here. And Adam, Wainwright, we can't do fiction, man. It's fact time.
Yeah,
no more
right.
making up trades. No more this team matches up with this team. It is go time.
Facts.
Oh, my gosh. It's that time of year. Less than 48 hours away from the deadline. Here's Chisholm. 1 out, 8th inning. Yankees trying to get a little rally going against Jacob Webb. There's a strike.
He can't challenge. He's wanted to challenge.
Yeah.
He can't.
The Yankees are out of challenges with which to work, and Jazz frustrated.
Well, Jazz is one of the worst challengers in the league.
Yeah.
Yankees probably are like, we're out. You can't challenge.
There's a strike again.
He would have been right on that one.
I just always wonder when umpires know the team's out of challenge, if they're, especially a veteran umpire like Ron Kolpa, he's thinking, oh, I can call whatever I want now.
And Steve, Jazz is still barking. It's a big spot. It needs to lock back in here.
I think I saw Jazz say, you understand. I didn't think it was a heated conversation in the moment. They kind of got close to each other as the crowd noise came up, so I didn't think they were having a rough conversation, Ron Kolpa and Jazz Chisholm. I just thought they were trying to get closer to each other to hear.
He got me once.
Ron Kolpa, the crew chief and home plate umpire?
Oh, yeah. In a perfect game.
Ah. Oh, 2. Waved on and missed 2 down. Oh. Yep, he held on to it behind the plate. Now Jazz frustrated after all of the interactions. Look at Aaron Boone saying, hey, come on back, come on back, come on back. Now 2 away in the 8th inning in a 2-run game.
That was a nasty pitch right there.
Well, here we go. This is the spot that Aaron Boone wanted to save Ben Rice for. Rice has pretty much been going nonstop for New York, an all-star this year, and he's pretty much been playing every day. 105 appearances this season for Rice. Out of the 110 games the Yankees had played, he wanted to get Rice off of his feet, but Ben Rice has been the best hitter for New York this year in the absence of Judge and Stanton and Bellinger. He's got the team leading OPS, and he's got 31 home runs to boot. And suddenly he represents the tying run at the plate against Webb in the 8th.
The pitching meeting right there, just reminding the pitcher where the weaknesses are, where you can throw your stuff. Ben Rice loves the ball up. He's a very good fastball hitter, but you can get him down. He struggles down.
He's pinch hitting for Anthony Volpe, and takes a breaking ball strike.
I love that. Off the bench, a pinch hitter doesn't want to see a breaking ball first pitch. I never felt like they did.
Rice takes low, 1-1.
Well, that was an old Tom Kelly thing when I came up with the Twins. He always say, after you score runs in an inning, throw a first pitch breaking ball because the team wants to get back and the hitter's ready. And anytime you see a pinch hitter, try to throw him a first pitch breaking ball because, like you said, Wayno, they don't want to see that.
There's a swing and a miss, 1-2.
That's that good changeup we saw him get Jazz with also.
2 outs, 8th inning. On the ground to first, Bush was already lunging, but he snares it, and the inning is over. Webb finishes off the frame with a shutdown 8th inning. Chicago leads New York 4-2. Stream every out-of-market MLB game, plus MLB Network 24/7 for $94.99. Blackout and other restrictions apply. MLB.tv for details. 4-2, Chicago leads to the bottom of the 8th inning. Heart of the order for the Cubs. It's Bregman, Kelly, and Bush due up. And the flame-throwing former Chicago Cubs prospect Giovanni Cruz, who's back up with the big league club after Camilo Doval was dealt to Pittsburgh earlier today. Cruz, who was signed by the Cubs in 2016 as an international free agent, and made his major league debut with the Yankees in May, coming out flame-throwing. This guy's got a heavy fastball. How fast did you say he threw, AJ?
A bazillion.
A bazillion. Threw 99.8 in his major league debut. That was the average, by the way, velocity. So that means he topped 100 a couple of times.
It's easy.
He's throwing balls to the wrong guy, though.
And Bregman.
Yeah, Bregman's just up there going, take 4 and go to first.
Yep.
Well, Yvonne Cruz is trying to keep this game where it's at. In the top of the 9th inning, Jones, Sanchez, and Caballero, the bottom of the order, which has done well tonight, is due up. There's a strike. The other question is, to whom do the Cubs turn? Is it Aaron Savale again, who had a save earlier this week? Became the 13th different Cub to record a save this year. Bregman, 3-2.
Bregman might have been saying 4 before 3 here.
Yes. Well, he also sees 99, 100, 101.
The excellent defender Ryan McMahon comes in at third base, moving Caballero to short. Won't be done for the night after being pinch hit for. And Bregman with an excellent eye, didn't take the bat off the shoulder and gets a base out of it. A leadoff walk issued by Cruz.
That's got to be tough. You're making your big league debut this year. And by the way, you got to face Alex Bregman, who will not go out of the strike zone.
He won't swing it 1 inch off the plate on either side.
Insurance run at first. Bregman's walked twice tonight with a hit. Kelly is 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. You know the game might be a little odd on any night, whether it's blowing out or in. But when the wind is a factor at Wrigley, you might have an interesting game on any given night. It's been an interesting game tonight. Twists and turns. Cubs score without a run against Freese in the first. Peterson and Fried had a great pitcher's duel in their outings tonight. But the bottom of the order gets the tying run. Cubs leave Peterson out there a little bit, and he gives up the go-ahead home run to Jones. Nico Horner, an unexpected source on an unexpected night, gets the game-tying home run. Cubs add on 2 more. Now you're getting into the chess match of the late innings, and Craig Counsell has the veteran lefty Caleb Thielbar getting ready for a potential save in the top of the ninth.
Well, that's because of where the Yankees are in their order. Spencer Jones, lefty leading off. Ali Sanchez, they're not worried about him as much as when you get back to the top, you have the lefties again in the opportunity with McMahon now in the game, Austin Wells, who they don't want to see for Sanchez.
So continuing to play matchups with that piecemeal bullpen, the Cubs. Cruz to Kelly. Fastball punched into left center field. He muscled that out there, and Bregman's looking to go first to third. He will.
Well, before we get into the knock by Carson Kelly, let's pay off Alex Bregman for 1, a great read, 2, knowing that Spencer Jones, a left-handed thrower, is going to his left, and he goes, watch this, he reads it perfectly, perfect turn, and this is right in Spencer Jones' face. Spencer Jones going to his left means he's going to have a harder time throwing. Just an awesome base running play by Alex Bregman.
And now this forces the infield in again for New York in a 2-run game. Here's Bush. Nobody out here in the 8th inning. And their first strike from Cruz. Nice little slider to mix in with the fastball. Red Sox are underway against the Dodgers. 2-2 game in the top of the 3rd there. Yankees have the lead on the Red Sox for the top wild card spot. They're chasing the Tampa Bay Rays, who are in action against the White Sox. Rays got a 1-0 victory over the Southsiders today.
It's a funky slider, isn't it? It almost goes the other way.
Bouncing ball, foul.
It's funky because it's short, it's quick, and it goes straight down. That's why it's funky.
Yeah.
Because you expect a guy that throws 100 to throw a little more 100.
Seems like just a lot of things to account for when you're at the plate against Cruz. The other way to left. Bush does it, drives in a key insurance run. Bregman scores, and it's 5-2 Chicago. You said it, Wayno. That's what he does very well. Takes the fastballs the other way.
That's what he does. Just seen it 100 times. He just never tries to do too much there. If you get the ball elevated at all, he just shoots it right to left field. He makes that same slider pitch down in the zone. He gets another ground ball, but because it's up, Bush is comfy and just shoots it to left.
So Bush drives in the 5th Chicago run. Nico Hoerner to the plate, and he was responsible for the game-tying swing. Sleeper pick sponsored by Mattress Firm. He is a sleeper pick. Not a ton of power. He's had a couple of home runs this week, but he did it against the wind. Our StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud. He had to get it in the right spot. It had to be a line drive, and it was those things.
Little hanging split that hit 372 feet and in the perfect spot. Much like Spencer Jones' home run, who gave the Yankees a lead, Nico Hoerner knew exactly where to put that ball.
Bouncing ball too short, could be two. Grabbed by the shortstop Caballero. The relay from Chisholm is there, and it's a key double play for Cruz to quickly get 2 outs. Kelly goes on to third base.
And again, I want to talk about Alex Bregman's base running, because that changed the entire at bat for Michael Bush. If it's first and second, that's a different at bat than when it's first and third. Your mindset as a hitter is completely different. When you look up and say, all I got to do is get a ball to the outfield, put a ball in play, we're pretty much scoring a run. Great base running by that guy right there.
Here's Ian Happ on the ground. Little cue shot picked up by Caballero. And the inning is over, but the Cubs had a key insurance run with that base running from Bregman that AJ was talking about. Last chance. Jones has homered. Sanchez 3 hits. Caballero the speed. Do the Yankees have a rally? Time for our Indeed player resume. As we go to the 9th in Chicago, it'll be Caleb Thielbar trying to record a save. 13 different pitchers have recorded one this season for the Cubs. Thielbar is out there. Spencer Jones, lefty-lefty matchup to start the top of the 9th inning, and he'll take ball 1. Thielbar, a veteran left-hander, back with the Cubs. He's got a couple of saves this year. David Bednar has as many saves individually as the Cubs have as a team. So to think about how many players have had to corral those saves is fascinating when you compare the two teams. Jones had the big home run opposite field. And now he pulls one on the ground into right field to start off the Yankee ninth. The bottom of the order has been a saver for New York's offense this evening.
And now you get Ali Sanchez, who was 3 for 3.
Yeah.
If I'm Nico Hoerner, I'm moving to the.
Yeah, but everybody move
over.
You got this is what the pitcher and catcher in the booth were talking about earlier. They go,
Jeez.
if we're the defense, why would you not move Nico Hoerner over?
Well, surely he won't do it again.
Well, if he does it again, the tying run will come to the plate for the Yankees. There's a breaking ball strike to Sanchez.
That's Thielbar's pitch. He's been known for his entire career as that big breaking curveball.
39-year-old deals and Mrs. Lowe. Long time with the Minnesota Twins, South Dakota native. He's been a good strikeout pitcher this year. 42 strikeouts in 32 innings of relief for Caleb Thielbar this year. Other guys had a long and winding road, had to go through the independent ball circuit to get back to affiliated ball and eventually back to the big leagues. A key left-hander the last couple of years for this Cubs bullpen. A guy who averaged 23 points per game in basketball in high school. That was an athlete coming up, and he's still doing it at 39 years of age. 2-2 on Sanchez. Remember, Daniel Palencia is the closer when he's healthy. He's been on the IL a couple of times this year. Jacob Webb got the 8th inning tonight. Got a bunch of guys in the back end trying to fill the gaps. On the ground to short. Swanson, corner, Bush, 2 down. Tailor-made.
About as routine as you get right here. Little curveball off the end of the bat. He did something he hadn't done his first 3 at-bats. He got big.
Tried to pull it,
and it's perfectly played. 6-4-3.
Here's Caballero, the last chance for New York. Fouling it back, 0-1. Got into the press box to our right.
And not one of those reporters even tried to make an attempt for it.
Much to the chagrin of the athlete sitting next to me, Bueno and AJ. Deal bars 0-1. Two teams that are in solid position in the playoff race right now. Top wild card teams. Yankees closer to the Rays than the Cubs are to the Milwaukee Brewers at the top of their divisions. Breaking ball strike. 1-2. Garrett Cole against Colin Ray tomorrow afternoon at Wrigley. 1-2. Fouled away. On the ground, 2-horner. And the Cubs even up the series.
What a performance, pitching performance from both David Peterson and Max Fried. The bullpen for the Cubs just a little bit better tonight. PCA with the huge hit. That's why he's in the MVP conversation. Just a well-played baseball game. Wind blowing in, not a ton of offense, enough for the Cubs.
Seemed like it's a potential October kind of feel to me. There was big-time pitching. Both guys stepped up and made pitches when they needed to. Timely hitting. They fought some line drives under the wind. It was great. I loved it. This was the crowd was rocking. Great baseball game.
Entertaining ball game with some unique twists and turns, whether it was the weather, whether it was the home runs, whether it was the late inning bullpen mixtures. It's a 5-2 Chicago victory over New York. They'll play the rubber game tomorrow afternoon. And the 4 of us will hang out in Chicago again next week. Nothing wrong with that, much like the Yankees have done all week this week. We'll be on the south side next week for the top 2 teams in the American League Central. The White Sox and the Guardians will have regional coverage with the Orioles and Rangers and the Tigers and Giants. You can check your local listings for the game in your area for Baseball Night in America next Saturday night at 7 Eastern on Fox. For AJ Pierzynski, Adam Wainwright, the very hard-working Ken Rosenthal, like a tax accountant in April. He's going very hard here at the trade deadline. I'm Adam Amin saying so long from Wrigley. Chicago 5, New York 2. Great job by our fantastic Fox Sports crew. Kevin Burkhardt and Dontrell Willis are coming your way after this. Good night from the north side.